God. Proszę Państwa, jak słychać na 103 FM jakieś dziwne szumy, a jak przestaje szumieć, to gadają po niemiecku. Ale wszystko się zgadza, bo nie jesteśmy w Warszawie, a jesteśmy w Berlinie. Dziś się uda spotkać w Berlinie z pewnym Szwedem. I jak się miewa jedna druga legendarnego, odważę się powiedzieć, duetu Roxette, przekonacie się, jak dojedziemy przy 30 km na godzinę. Dziękuję bardzo, danke. Radia Kolor moves from Warsaw to Berlin today to meet a Swede. What a small world. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge pleasure to welcome Per Gessle.
Thank you very much.
I don't know why I keep saying Per Gessle. Per Gessle.
Yeah, well, Gessle sort of makes sense if you speak English, but it's actually Gessle.
Yeah, but let's stick with the Swedish version of Per. Okay, first of all, I would like you to have a little look at a picture. It looks like this.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember some of this stuff?
Yeah, well, I do, yes. I do. Yeah.
That's my...
This means that I'm getting old.
Me too, because that's my precious collection.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that's mine. Over 200 items I found in my collection, including your champagne this time.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it's waiting for a special occasion.
Nice.
And, so first of all, I would like to say thank you, because when I was preparing for this interview, I took an emotional joyride from my life, and I thought, hey, because of this guy, I love music. And because that I love music, I love radio. So, and since I'm a year older than Roxette, you've made the soundtrack of my life. Do you get that often?
I do, but it's heartbreaking to hear that, because I'm really proud and honored that you say that. It's just it's great. I don't know what to say. It's just fantastic.
For the first time I've pressed play, I think it was Pearls of Passion, a tape by my mother. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. So, what's the greatest compliment you've ever heard about your work?
Well, the biggest compliment I get that every time I do a show. Yeah. Because you get one of the finest things with music is that it communicates so well. Yeah. And to be able to have written lots of songs that means a lot to other people, it's a blessing, it's a gift, and I think that is one reason why artists never can stop touring and playing and performing, because you can never replace that feeling with anything else. So it's just every time I go on a show and I play some of my Swedish big hits or some of the Roxette hits, and people sing along, and you can see that they're moved by it. It's just, I pinch my arm so many times.
I'm not good at math, but I've done some math, and 1978, your first Ilana Tider release, and that was
40 years ago.
Yeah, 40 years. And since then, you've been very busy working with your Swedish group, Roxette, of course, your solo projects. And can you guess how many times it happened that during a year you didn't release anything, any music?
Not that many. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 maybe. Two. You see, I'm busy.
1998.
Okay.
So you had a little break with it was it was 19. I always get confused. Have a Nice Day was 97 or 98?
98.
98. So, and 2010. What was happening there? It was after the Party Crasher album, yeah.
Yeah, I think we recorded Charm School.
Yeah. And next year it happens. So, sorry, but you're a workaholic.
Well, I'm not a workaholic, but I like music a lot, and I always say to people that I am very much my work, my job, and my wife is, after we went together for 35 years, she knows that by now. That my priorities are like...
We will get to her. We will get to Osa.
So it's like, I've been very lucky to have like lots of people interested in my work. And also I think I've made it simpler for me, or easier for me, because I've done so many different careers. Swedish solo career, English solo career, Gyllene Tider in Swedish, Roxette, and writing for other people as well. So it's different things all the time. I very rarely do the same project 2 years in a row, unless it's a touring thing.
Yeah, and the fascinating thing is you're quite unique because that's all you. That's all Per Gessle. That's not somebody else who written the lyrics or the music. No. It's all you.
I'm old-fashioned. Yeah, I'm a loner when it comes to my music. Yeah. Well, on the other hand, I'm a loner writing it, and loner when I'm writing lyrics also. But then I need people to help me to get
to the point.
My ideas right. You know, I need other players and I need other producers as well, and that is also what is so attractive working with Marie in the first place, that she could sing much better than I did, and I could write songs a little bit more complex than if I would have sung them myself. Same with Helena Josephson. She makes me better. You know, Clarence Overman has always made my songs better. Christopher Lundquist, the same things. I always go for people who make me shine a little brighter than I actually deserve.
Yeah. Yeah. Watching your old interviews, I found that the first time you realized that Roxette was huge was when Mick Jagger mentioned Roxette's name in an interview. You told the story that Tom Petty liked the Look Sharp album or The Look, yeah. Madonna was one of your concerts, Swedish Princess Victoria loves you. Any other big names among the fans?
Oh, I'm sure we're on lots of guilty pleasure lists for everyone. I know that what's his name? The comedian.
Oh, Ricky Gervais.
Thank you. Ricky Gervais, he had a little YouTube clip where he talks about his guilty pleasures, and he talks about Roxette for 2 minutes. I thought that was lovely. I know, we're all over the place. It's just, you know, it is like that. When you have songs as big as those, the classic Roxette songs, I mean, they go everywhere. Yeah. It's fun. I'm honored. It's just great.
Yeah. Over the years, you've made, it's countable, thousands of songs. Thousands, yeah? Yeah,
well, I think probably at least 200, 300, 400 of them are thrown away in the waste paper basket. Oops. But I think I have registered about 800 songs or so.
Yeah, and I think we know which ones you love, you're most proud of, but I've never heard you saying, what was I thinking about a song? And I know you're gonna say, I love all my children and stuff like this, but please give me just one. When you listen to the old stuff, you're listening to it and saying, I've heard the rumor that you hate fireworks. Is it true?
No, I like fireworks. But you know what? I usually say that I don't really have a problem with any of the songs. And there is a reason for it. And the reason is that when you write songs, a song goes through so many filters. Yeah. It's like from the creative side, and also you make demos, and then you make maybe another demo in another key. You know, it changes and changes. And if a song reaches that far that it will be included on an album, it has passed all these filters. So there must be something good with it. At least you think like that when you're doing it. Yeah. But looking back, of course, there are songs that I think I don't like. Lies, for instance, on Crash Boom Bang.
It hurts me.
Yeah, it really hurts me. Because it wasn't intended to sound like that. It was intended to be something else. And there are some Gyllene tracks which I think are rubbish when I look back to them on them. But at the time, they made sense, you know.
Yeah. But it's fascinating to see how your listeners see these songs after years. I remember that when Have a Nice Day was out, I was like, oh my God, what is this? And after 10 years, wow. This is a really strong CD, a really strong album, so it changes in our points of view too.
Yeah, it does. Have a Nice Day was really, I think, also a great. It's a little long, but it's because we recorded so many songs. Yeah. But it's what I think the Roxette album where I spent the most time on the writing process, because Marie had her second child and we had a break for a couple of years, so I was left with like a year of writing an album, which is very rare. So I wrote like 35 or 40 songs for that album and recorded, I think, 18 or so. So it's got some quality songs there, definitely.
A few days back, I had a discussion with with one of our DJs at our radio, and we are still wondering how does it work that that singles are picked. You know, that some guy at the record company decides, That's good. And we are mostly wondering, what? Why, God, why? How does it work? Do you, as Per Gessle, you can say, hey guys, this is going to be the first single? Does an artist have an impact like this?
No.
That's sad.
Well, yeah, I mean, the answer is yes and no. I mean, obviously you want to, when you release, especially like when we had our heydays, like 88 to 95, and we were a really big international band, you really need to work hand in hand, very close together with the record label and your record company. So obviously you want to make the major decisions in unison, so to speak. We always have preferences of what's going to be the first single or second single. But then again, some markets like the States, for instance, say that this song would fit our market very well, and that your choice doesn't fit at this point. Maybe as the second single or third single. And then Germany comes in, which has always been one of our biggest markets, saying that we desperately need this one for our market, and this is your biggest market, so you should listen to us. And then the
Scandinavian... Quite confusing.
Yeah. And then the Scandinavian market said, oh, we can't have those songs. We can't release another ballad. We have to have an up-tempo track. And it has to be this or that. And that is... and nobody knows. Everyone is just guessing. And if you could look back also to the history of Roxette, I mean, the idea behind Roxette was originally that I was writing songs, Marie was singing them, and our breakthrough song is actually just sung by me. Yeah. And that was supposed to be. The first single off that album was actually Dressed for Success, and the second was Listen to Your Heart, both sung by Marie. But The Look was the breakthrough song. Everyone was taken by surprise. So you never know.
Yeah. So what's your most underrated song? A single or not?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think underrated is maybe not be the right word, but I think one of our best songs that was it was a pretty big hit. It's Spending My Time. I think it's a great track because I like the lyrics a lot. I'm really happy with that lyric, and it's a great production and great vocals by Marie. There are other songs that are hidden away, like The Sweet Hello, The Sad Goodbye, for instance, which I think is a beautiful track. It didn't make the Joyride album because we had so many songs. Yeah,
but it had the second life many years after.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's She Like is an album track from Crash. Yeah. It Takes No Time to Get Here from Room Service is one of my favorite tracks. We had just discovered the auto-tuning in the studio, so we used that on my voice.
I thought so. Yeah.
And I hated that.
At the end of this track, it's you can hear this.
And it sounds ridiculous, and I just wish we could remix it without that thing. But in those days, when we did that, it was a new thing, and you were always curious about how it's going to sound. And you think it sounds really fresh, and it didn't. But nevertheless, it's a great track. It's great lyric. I'm happy with that one. I can go on. There are so many great songs. Yeah.
Do you have a dream duet?
Not really, but when I did the Small Town Talk song, I needed a male duet partner, and the first name on my list was actually Nick Lowe, because he's such an amazing singer, and he has had a big influence on my musical life since I've always been a fan ever since the late 70s. Or actually even earlier, when he was in Brinsley Schwartz in the early 70s, when I was a kid. I always admired his work, and so that quote is now filled. He's on Small Town Talk, and I'm a very happy man.
Yeah. Of the record, I Love the Sound of Crashing Guitars was inspired by I Love the Sound of Breaking Glass.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be. Yeah. I never liked that song either. It's a crazy production. Yeah.
You're surprising me, Per. Small Town Talk is quite unique for you in your catalog in few ways. Firstly, because of its sound, and secondly, because of the lyrics. It sounds very personal, or we got fooled once again by Per?
Well, it depends on what you mean. The Small Town Talk album was originally made in Swedish. So when I went to Nashville in the end of 2016, I recorded it in Swedish. And after a couple of weeks in Nashville, I realized that something really interesting was happening musically with these songs. So I decided then and there that I should do an English version of it as well. Yeah. So of course I started trying to translate all those lyrics, my Swedish lyrics. And some of them I really had problems translating. So I had some help with a girl called Sharon Vaughan out of Nashville, who knows a little bit Swedish, which was really helpful. So she could sort of try to get into my very Swedish and personal lyrics, and trying to translate, but I think more she sort of adapted them into English, trying to say, keep the same vibe, but it's not really translated like word by word. Yeah. But she did a wonderful job, and I couldn't do it myself. And it's actually the first time in my career when I failed translating things, because it's like the Finest Prize, for instance, was written in English. Then I translated it to Swedish, and then
but if you listen to it, I will get the opposite impression, that you translated the English words to the Swedish. I don't know why, but it sounds so.
Yeah, well, maybe it's a mind game. If the version you hear first, you always think it's the original.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
But it's I don't know. It's just that some of these lyrics were so. I don't know. I wrote them and they felt really private, and I couldn't sort of start all over again in English and try to get the same sort of kick out of it or vibe out of it. So she helped me.
You get rather positive feedbacks from the critics. That's great. Just like from the fans, of course. And does criticism affect you? Does it touch you as an artist today?
Well, I mean, I don't really read reviews that much anymore. But you know, in the old days, it was really hurt. It was really hurt. It really hurt if you got bad press. But nowadays, you know, I'm 2,000 years old. It feels like it doesn't really matter. There's for every project that I do these days, there's a point for me doing it. So as long as I feel that I've reached, you know, what I aimed for, I'm happy. I know that Small Town Talk is not like it's not like a mainstream album, because this music is not mainstream anymore. And what the legacy that I bring in, I come from the, as you know, from the classic pop songwriting tradition, and that is not really top 40 anymore.
But you don't have to prove anything anymore, yeah?
No, I don't really have to prove anything, of course, but still, it's also in my blood to have to. I like pop music, and I listen to some contemporary pop music too. It's just that it doesn't really mean that much to me as it did when I was younger.
Yeah. You're using Spotify?
I'm using Spotify.
You're a fan or a foe?
Well, I think Spotify, the streaming thing, makes it easier for everyone to. I mean, the options and the library of music that you can grasp is just amazing. What I don't like is that Spotify has got almost like a monopoly in Sweden. They're the only one. We don't sell any physical product at all, basically. It's just Spotify, and I don't like the monopoly system at all. They get like 95 or 96% of the market, which makes them impossible to deal with.
But they are Swedish, so it was easier.
Yeah, but I think it would be great. I mean, in most countries, like in France, for instance, you have like Deezer, and you have
we have
iTunes,
it in Poland too,
and Spotify, which is good if there are like three who fights and competes. It's good for the fans, and it's good for the artists. Yeah. But if you have like 96% of the market, you're the king, you know. Yeah. And
so if I take a look in your phone, in your Spotify, three recently played songs?
Probably old songs.
By you?
No, not by me, but I probably, let me think, we were talking about something the other day and we checked them out on yeah, I was last song I would actually listen to was because I've been to France last week, and I played this old song called "Twist à la Saint-Tropez." Yeah, it's a Chien Sauvage or something. It's a '60s band. Okay. It's a crazy track. That was my most recent played song. I love it. It's just cool. Okay. It's an old twist.
You were asked in the '90s. How would you picture yourself at the age of 57? You said that you hope that you will still be touring and be really fat. You've got one of them right, yeah? Well, about the touring, of course, yeah? So a tour is coming up. What can we expect?
Well, the tour is all about keeping the Roxette catalog and legacy alive. It was something that when Marie told me that she couldn't keep on going anymore in the spring of 2016. She and we immediately discussed that Oh, actually, she suggested that I should continue Roxette.
It was her suggestion.
It was like we talked about it, and she said you can do something else because I can't do it anymore. And I didn't want to do that because I didn't know what to do without her. And that made me go the opposite direction I wanted to do. I started doing an acoustic album in Nashville. That's what I did. It was very far away from Good Karma. But anyway, when I toured last summer in Scandinavia with the Nashville album, the Swedish Nashville album, I got together a new band, which included a pedal steel guitar player and a girl who plays violin and a new drummer and everything. So it was basically a new band, and it sounded amazing. So I thought that, hey, this could be a way to play Roxette songs with this band, because we're going to get a totally new palette of sounds from this band. And as you know, I don't want to use computers and sequencers and stuff, click tracks and stuff like that on stage. I just want it to be 100% live and organic. So I need really, really, really crafted players. So this idea just came up. Let's do a Roxette tour with this band. We're 5 people singing, 2 girls. And it's just going to sound great, I hope. And we start rehearsing on Saturday.
Oh, you start rehearsing, so you won't give me any titles. So.
Now I did a set list for myself a couple of weeks ago, and it was like 72 Roxette songs. And I'm going to take it down. I sent like 33 songs or 34 songs to the band.
So give me just one gem that you will try to fit in this.
Well, I think I would love to play a couple of Roxette songs that Roxette never played live before, like Milk and Toast and Honey, for instance, or
Milk and Toast and Honey wasn't played live during the room service concert. I think it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Was
in Stockholm, I think it was. Maybe. Yeah, you were there. Okay. I wasn't there. You were there.
All right, maybe you're right. Sweet Hello, Sad Goodbye. I would love to try that. Well, there are a few. You can just fool around with some great tracks.
Yeah. Okay. The tour will end in November, and what's next? You're constantly involved in music, but I bet you sometimes have to escape all that and do just nothing. I don't know. Does Per Gessle lay in front of the TV and watches Netflix, for example, sometimes?
Do that basically every evening when I'm at home.
What do you suggest to watch right now?
Right now I watch The Affair, and I watch this one was called, I've seen so many things, Better Call Saul.
Oh, yeah, but Breaking Bad is pretty cool, yeah.
But there's another one I started which is really cool.
Ozark.
Ozark, thank you.
Yeah,
great.
It's great. Yeah, it's the second season right now, or third. I don't remember.
It's the second season now. Yeah. There's lots. I mean, television is where it's at these days.
Yeah, that's true. I've said that about your 57. Sorry, I'm talking about your age constantly, but you've got a big one coming. January 12th, you'll turn 60. Is it a milestone for you, some kind of?
Well, I haven't gone there yet, but it's really. I think everyone who's getting old, they don't really see themselves as old, you know. But 60 is old, you know. When I was a kid, you know, talking to people who were 60 were like my grandparents, you know. But on the other hand, I don't feel very old. I feel very sort of on top of my game, and I look forward to continue working as long as I can, and touring and writing. And
this year you had your 25th wedding anniversary. Congrats to both of you. Do you think it's easy being married to Per Gessle?
I think it's a joyride.
Also, I will agree.
Oh, I don't know. I think it also has been lovely all these years. Very supportive, of course, and we like best friends, which is good. Still.
Yeah. And she's great with the fans, so our best to your wife. Yeah.
Thank you.
Really
I'll tell her.
Okay, so you've got a few celebrations coming up. Maybe with something good. You're a wine lover. By the way, what's happening with the Per Gessle selection?
Well, we just had a little rosé champagne coming in a very limited edition.
Okay.
We only at our hotel.
Okay.
And we have a new vintage of the Curtin Lisa coming.
Okay.
In magnums.
Okay.
Which you can buy in the stores. Well, that's about it, you know. My whole wine thing started because I wanted to have something really cool for the Hotel Tylösand. And then I got, people love the wine so much, and someone said you should release them commercially. And I did, but I realized very early on that I couldn't promote them. I don't want to go around promote wine. I'm a musician, and I should stick to my thing. So we put them out there, and you know we have a very state government ruled way of with alcohol. You know.
We are not encourage you to drink wine or any alcohol. Remember, dear folks. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. But anyway, so now I'm a little bit back. I mean, you can still buy the wines in the assorted stores, but it's basically made for the hotel.
Yeah. And once again, thanks to you, I've tried something new, and I loved it. I've tried award-winning Polish wine, white wine. I have it for you.
Oh, really?
Here's.
Cheers, thank you.
Here's to you.
Appreciate this, thank you very much.
I've got some few other stuff from the Polish fans. Maybe cookies, anyone?
Yes. Nice.
For the first time, I've tried a really good Polish wine, thanks to you, and it's really great. Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it. I'll bring it with him back home. Yeah. Have it with Åsa tonight.
Yeah. So have a nice celebration, have a great tour. See you on October 21st.
Thank you, I'll be there.
It was a pleasure having you.
I'll try to remember milk and toast and honey.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Radio Kolor.